Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne's Sharp World, where today I'm going to be taking a look at 5 knives that I have come to love. Now, the only real rule with the knives you're about to see here are they're knives that I've had to have had for an extended amount of time, at least 6 months, and that I've had a decent amount of carry time with and experience and use with. So what you're about to see are 5 knives that you've probably seen. I'm kind of looking at them right now as I'm talking to you. I think you've seen every one of them on the channel, whether I've done a full review or an unboxing, or maybe they've been in some type of list, but I think you've seen all 5 of these on the channel. Some you've seen more than others. Some you have not seen very much. I think a couple of these you've only seen once. So they may not be the ones that you can really think of right off the top of your head, but they're knives that I've had them long enough to where I originally always liked them and I enjoyed them, so I kept them around, but I've come to love them. I've come to really, really like these 5 knives for various reasons, and I tried to spread the price, the price range out a little. One of them is a less expensive knife. Actually, 2 of them are. My version is a little classier, of course. I got to be a little extra sometimes, but nonetheless, I believe all of these knives are still available. One of them may not be available, but I believe 4 of these 5 are still available. So with that being said, before I get into this, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. Continue to help me grow this channel, and I will continue to bring you guys the content. Now, let's take a look at the 5 knives I am referring to, and I'm going to go with what I think is the lowest to highest in price. So we're going to start off right here with the Cold Steel Airlite. This is the Tanto version, and when I first got this knife, it was so stiff. I could not. I had to do the slow roll, and it was kind of an awkward feel in my hand. So it wasn't really the best. But it's gotten to the point now to where I can pretty easily flip it out, and this has one of the best edges for such a thick knife. I mean, look at the tip on this guy. I mean, it's kind of stupid how thick this tip is, and I don't know why I'm struggling to get focused. There we go. So you have a very, very beefy tip with a sharp edge. By no means is it a slicing edge, but it is just a very thick, it's almost like a sharp pry bar almost. But it goes down to a relatively, I mean, I don't want to say thin, but an edge that is really good to work with, a Tanto edge. This is not hollow grind, this is a flat grind, but it is still a pretty good cutting tool, and I find to be very effective. Another thing that I really like about this is the weight. Of course, this is an Airlite, so it is very light. I don't know the exact weight of it right now, but I can tell you this, you can put it in some basketball shorts and you'll be all right. So it's that light. But it's just really nice. And as a matter of fact, the more I've carried this, the more I've come to really love it. I honestly think this might be the most underrated cold steel of all time. I really am pretty confident in saying that right now because I am just falling in love with this knife. I prefer the Tanto version. There is a drop point version, which I'm sure is just as nice. I think this is an amazing looking Tanto. The profile is just killer, and it's just a great beater knife. If you want to really go out and just tear some stuff up and put something to use, this is a great knife to do it with. And it could also be a good knife that you could, go for a run with, and it's not too heavy. It's just an excellent knife, and coming in at, I believe, $72.99. I think it's like the $70 to $75. AUS 10A steel. We have a blade length coming in at, let's see here. Let me do that. About right here. Yeah, so 3.5 inches. Yeah, 3.5 inch blade length. Yeah, right at 3.5 inches. So nice length. Really all the weight of this blade or all the weight of this knife is in the blade. Back here you have very, no real liners, just G10, and then you have the metal spine coming along back for the triad lock, which is a very nice lock. It's just a really good one. If you guys are cold steel fans and you haven't tried an Airlite, highly recommend one. I do love this knife. I don't see it ever really leaving my collection. Really, really good. The Cold Steel Airlite. Next up is, I wanted to find a knife that wasn't really a fidget knife, one that I could, if I ever went to Europe where there was crazy knife laws, something that I would really like to carry with me and still enjoy and still like, and that has become the Real Steel Luna Boost. This is an excellent knife. It is a screaming thin edge, screaming sharp blade, very nice, sleek design that I think would make for a very good gentleman's carry, and it just has a lot of really good things going for it. Now, this one right here was a little more than the regular knives. I want to say this was like $129, $139, but you can easily find these things for, my gosh, I think all the way down to $40 or $50, depending on the materials and blade steel and all sorts of stuff. This has fat carbon, gold dark matter carbon fiber, and I think it looks absolutely phenomenal paired with the thumb. I don't want to call it a thumb stud. It is, I guess it is a thumb stud. It's a removable thumb stud. And the bronzed hardware that they bronzed perfectly to go with the gold in here. So it just looks fantastic. You can take this off, and then you still have a locking knife, but then it becomes a two-hand opening knife, which you can easily two-hand open. So it's going to be legal in a lot of places depending how you want to set it up. It's just a matter of taking that off. They send you a tool. Even if they don't send you the tool, you probably have, if you have any small screw bits, you can get it off with that. Just a really nice knife. It feels great in hand, stupid sharp blade, and a just really, again, like I said, a really attractive design from, I believe, the maker here, the designer is slipping my mind right now. Poltergeist. I believe it's Poltergeist Blade Works or Poltergeist Knives. I believe that is their logo. N690 steel. And I believe this is number 16, I think is what that means. This was a limited run. I'm a sucker for good carbon fiber, especially gold dark matter, so I had to get in on this, and I just absolutely love it. I like the way it looked. The aesthetics and the materials are what kind of brought me in, and then just having this in hand. It's not a fidget knife, not by any means. It's a slow roller all day. That's pretty much all you're going to do with it. You take the thumb stud off, you got to two-hand open it. But it's just a really, really nice knife. Designed well, fits good in the hand, and it's made to slice, made to cut. Really nice little gentleman's folder, and one that I have grown to love. That is the Real Steel Luna Boost. Next up, we have one that I think everyone has seen on this channel probably multiple times. That is the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. Now, why have I come to love this knife? I'm sure you guys have probably already seen my review on this knife. It was a very positive review. I didn't have a lot of things that I didn't like about it. One thing that I did not like about it was the lockup. I was having issues with the lockup of the liner lock, but over carry and use, whatever was keeping it from fully locking up has went away. And now every time I get this perfect lockup, it does have a little bit of lock stick still if you listen here. You hear that lock stick. But it's just really smoothed up to where the middle finger flicks are even smoother than they originally were. I don't believe this was made by Ria. I'm almost positive this was made by MKM or somewhere in Italy. So the quality's still great, but it feels more and more every day, not to insult the company that made this, but it feels more and more like a Ria as it breaks in, which really isn't an insult. In a way, it is a compliment. But I've just really fallen in love with this knife. I've always really liked it. I never really had any ideas of selling it, but it's one that I just want to carry more often too. I love the way the green micarta darkens up enough to where it just has a really good weathered patina look to it. You get that nice grainy look in it, and the more it sits in your hand and the more you use it, just a simple amount of this right here, it darkens it up just like that, and it looks great. The wire clip is pretty good. Sometimes the wire clips on Giant Mouse knives can sometimes be a bit of a hot spot. I don't find this one to be too bad. I do feel it, granted. I do feel the clip, but I don't think it's ever going to cause me any blisters or any real true discomfort. So not a huge issue there. Every once in a while, I have kind of gotten a wild idea of seeing what type of aftermarket clips I could get for this, just out of curiosity. But even if I left this clip on it and the whole time I had it, I don't think I'd ever regret it. I don't ever plan on getting rid of this knife. It's just an excellent knife. 3.3-inch blade with LMAX steel. Just those awesome Vox ergos. The great jimping up there to really, if you ever wanted to really, you know, put this thing to use, it is just a fantastic knife for that. And the action is really good. I love the way they have this cut out because it allows me to thumb flip it and it allows me to middle finger flick it very, very easily and enjoyable. Again, just another very solid knife that has done nothing but found a more permanent place in my collection since I've had it. And that's the Giant Mouse Ace Grand. And now they also offer this knife, I believe this is $185, and they do offer this now in a natural micarta, which is kind of like a tan colored micarta, which I've always really loved the tan or tan or brown. It's more of like a very light brown, cream color almost. Between tan and brown, you be the judge. The more you use it, the more it'll darken up. It'll go from looking tan to brown. But regardless, it looks great, and it's a nice variation of this knife that is also available. Next up, we have probably the most controversial one on this list, because I really did not like this knife very much when I first got it. That is the Custom Knife Factory MCAD Meta. Now, this was a knife that was originally designed to be something on the lower end of a Custom Knife Factory offering. If everyone's familiar with Custom Knife Factory, which I think a lot of people are, they're based in Russia, and they have very expensive knives from $400 to, $700, $800, $900. They get expensive. This one came in at $305, so still expensive, but compared to everything else they offer, a little more affordable. So I was really excited about that. I thought it was pretty cool. I think the design, I've always thought the design was killer, like amazing. I love all the belly on the blade, but it's not too much. I love the tip. I like the grind lines. I like the extensive amount of milling on the inside. It's a nice, for as big as this is a very, very light knife for the full length of it. We're looking at a, let's see. Careful not to cut myself because this blade is stupid sharp. 8.5-inch knife. So big knife, really good ergos, feels good in hand, super screaming sharp slicey blade. I want to say this is 13 thousandths behind the edge, flat grind, and cuts extremely well. But my issue with it was the flipper tab. I was having a lot of trouble flipping it out. It was starting to hurt my finger, and it was really annoying me. I got a hold of Custom Knife Factory, and they said, send it back to us. We'll get you taken care of. They did, and they were completely great about everything, and I really love it. I don't have that issue at all anymore. You do have to light switch this knife. This is not a knife that you can push button, which I don't necessarily love, but it's still really good light switching it. They don't have any cutout back here or anything to really kind of help feel a little better after you deploy the blade for where your finger lands, but you don't really need it either. It's just really well done. It's a pretty thin knife. It's slim and thin and just a very, very powerful cutter. Just a good one. And the more I've had it now, the more when I first got this knife, my thought was, God, how am I going to get rid of this? It was $305. You know, my channel really survives on selling knives sometimes because I can't keep all the knives I sell. I have to sell a lot of them. So I thought, God, I'm never going to be able to sell this. I tried selling it. I couldn't get enough out of it that I really wanted to get. So I thought, well, I'll try returning it. And they did take it, and they were cool about it. And when I got this back, I was like, okay, all right, well, now I'm not really worried about selling this because I am a collector too. I love pocket knives, you guys. I don't do this just to make a very small amount on ad income. It wouldn't be worth doing it if I didn't enjoy pocket knives. So I am a collector. I am a user. So I thought, you know what? Good. I'm really happy now. I like this enough to where I can keep it and hold on to it. And I've been using it enough to where I really do like this a lot, and I do love it. I hope they make more of these, and I hope they maybe still fix that flipper tab a little to where you can maybe push button it. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what else they come out in their lower end lineup in the $290 to $325 range, because this is just an excellent offering, and it's one I would recommend everyone kind of keeping an eye out for. Keep an eye on Russian Knife Factory, see what they can. Why do I keep saying Russian Knife Factory? It is technically a Russian knife factory, but it's a custom knife factory. And but no, keep your eye out for them. See what they got coming out in the future. I think they make designs that are going to stand out and be very attractive to a lot of people. So there you go. That's the MCAD Custom Knife Factory MCAD Meta. And on to our last one, and this is another one that when I got it, I've always kind of wanted one. I knew I'd like it, but I didn't think I'd like it this much. That is the Berg Blades Iron Pup. And this one here, if you guys like knives under 3 inches, you would like this. It is fantastic. It's made by We. It has a very nice hollow grind that comes down to a nice stout slicey edge. This knife in general is just beefy. It is thick. The stock is thick. I want to say the stock is like 0.15, 0.14, but it comes down to an edge of about, I want to say 17 thousandths, which is plenty slicey enough. You have a blade coming in at, I know it was under 3 inches. We're going to measure it from this point right here, which is how legally it's measured. So yeah, you're looking at like 2.9 inches. And then the actual cutting edge is, I want to say like just about 2.75 inches, maybe a little less. I'd say 2.75 inches. And it is just an excellent little blade. I will always say this: if you like small knives, the Berg Blades Iron Pup is one of the best ones you can get that is just made to last forever. I do wish there was a little milling on the inside here. There's really no milling at all, so that does add a significant amount of weight to this knife. I think it would do it a little more justice if they did do some milling, but regardless, you feel that weed quality, guys. Nice little snappy action, comes out, pops out just fine. It has such. I got the just the all titanium finish with no inlays or anything, and now I'm thinking about getting some custom work done to this. I don't know what I want to do to it. I don't want it to be too poppy or too flashy, but I am thinking about getting something done to it, some type of engraving or laser work done to it that I thought would be pretty cool, but I have no idea what that's going to be yet. Has a nice lock bar insert and over travel stop. I had the Pena Mula had some milling like this back here on for the lock bar relief. And this is done the way all of them should be, because it's smoothed out enough to where this doesn't catch my my pants pocket. Doesn't catch the pants pocket, so it goes in and out of the pocket just fine. To many people's surprise, this is not an issue. It just has just enough to where you kind of gotta be a little precise when you go to put it in your pocket, but no real issue for me anyway, getting this in and out of the pocket. Not really a low carry knife though. It's going to be sitting up, about that much. So you're going to have plenty amount to pull out of your pocket when you need it. But again, not all my knives need to be real deep carry. So yeah, I'm okay with that. Just really like the action. Really like the action. I do want to get something done to these handles that provide more texturing. So it needs some type of engraving or laser work to get that extra texture. And once it has that, I'm obviously never going to sell this ever, I don't think, to begin with. 20 CV steel. So it's got some nice premium steel. And I think I said before, made by We Knives. So just an excellent piece. I want to say this was like $285, so not cheap. Again, you get what you pay for. But a really, really good offering. Always keep an eye out for Berg Blades, guys. He comes out with some really awesome designs. He's just a great person in general, and he knows what he's doing in the knife world. So someone I would highly recommend keeping an eye on, Berg Blades. I'm going to have all these knives listed below for you guys to check out. They won't be linked, but they will be listed for you to look up. So let me know what you guys think of this list. I hope you enjoyed it. What are some knives that have you had over time that you weren't sure about, or you just kind of liked and didn't love in the beginning, and after carrying them for a while, you just really fell in love with them? Let me know. Everyone has to have at least one or two. I look forward to hearing your guys' thoughts on that. I hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and until the next one, I'm out.